What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astrodfs, and in today's video, I'm going over some sleepers to target in your rookie drafts. So obviously, we have some more known, some more expected to be productive year one. Jump the depth chart, whatever. But in this, we're gonna find some guys to take a shot on. Granted, the picks you're spending isn't going to really hurt your team, right? If you have first round or second round draft capital, that's really where you plan on attacking and building your team off of. The third and fourth rounds are risk takers. They really are. If they pan out, great. If they don't, they don't. You're spending a third or fourth round pick. You're not expecting a lot. So at the quarterback position, I'm gonna start off with Will Howard. He is going late in drafts, if that, right? Most of the time it's in the fourth round. But Will Howard, 23 years old, so obviously not a 20 to 22 kind of that perfect range for a rookie quarterback, is 23, which is still not super old. But he goes to Pittsburgh to where, at this point, I think it's expected Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with the Steelers. Steelers didn't go with Sanders. That was the expectation. Once Cleveland didn't take him, obviously that didn't happen. So Will Howard, as of right now in the depth chart, like I said, I still expect Aaron Rodgers to sign. Kind of moves into that quarterback 3 spot. I think he's going to go ahead of Skylar Thompson easily, and Mason Rudolph is going to be the backup. So Will Howard would be quarterback 3 on this. Now, Mason Rudolph's not going to be there long. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be there long. It's more of a short-term situation, a big short-term. So Will Howard, right? I'm not expecting a lot out of this season, but like I said, when you're spending a third or fourth round, a guy that you're putting on your taxi squad in hopes that next year he's going to get an opportunity, had success in college. I'd rather take the shot on him in the late rounds for a quarterback than go for guys like Shedeur Sanders is perfectly acceptable. Like, besides where he fell, I think it was more off the field than on the field stuff for Shedeur Sanders. But still, am I going to want to take a 25-year-old rookie quarterback that's probably got 1 year, if that, to really pan out? Wasn't really impressive in college either. No, like I don't want to take that. Dylan Gabriel, to where, like, yeah, it felt really good when you saw Dylan Gabriel get drafted to Cleveland. You're like, hey, there's value there. And then Shedeur got drafted, and they have the most deep quarterback room, right? Like Deshaun Watson, Flacco, Pickett, Sanders, and Gabriel. Gabriel also 24. Like, I don't want to take a shot on that, and he's going before him. Jalen Milroe is the only other guy I can understand taking a shot on here. Going to Seattle. Obviously, Sam Darnold signed that contract. I'm not the biggest on Jalen Milroe. Just watching Alabama games, it pained me. The inconsistency the passing game had with Milroe. Obviously, the legs were amazing for Alabama, but the arm and the arm accuracy weren't always there. So, if I'm going to take a shot on a guy and not spend too much draft capital, Will Howard is kind of the guy I'm going for. And then moving on to the running back position, we have Devin Neal, who, as you could see, kind of goes around the third round in rookie drafts. You can see the running backs ahead of him. Dylan Sampson is one of them, pretty close. Blue, who got drafted to Dallas. Ali Gordon kind of behind him. Like, there's some names behind him, but guys that I want to take a shot on, 21-year-old, drafted to the Saints, to where you have a new head coach who's an offensive-minded coach. A team that's honestly in a rebuild. Obviously, you could tell by their quarterback situation with Derek Carr possibly missing this season. Spencer Rattler, they draft a quarterback in the second round. Don't want to talk about him again. But their running back room is Alvin Kamara, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Kendre Miller ahead of Devin Neal. At this point, I would probably slide Devin Neal ahead of Edwards-Helaire. My only question mark going forward of what the Saints running back room is going to look like is Kendre Miller. Obviously, Kendre Miller is still very young at 22 years old, but I would expect at some point Kamara is going to get shipped out. The contract is, yes, it's a higher contract for a running back. Alvin Kamara, though, could still put up really good numbers in a good offense, so I'm banking on Kamara being traded sometime this season for the Saints to yet again acquire some more draft picks, build up their roster. Their roster is in a very tough spot to where it's not tank mode, but we're not in a good spot. We don't have a good quarterback. The wide receivers are good. The tight end is okay. The defense has some pieces, but they're not in a competitive roster built right now. So I would expect Kamara to be traded. Is just my expectation. And then the battle between Devin Neal and Kendre Miller. But seeing that Devin Neal is drafted by the new coach, right? Well, obviously, the GM makes the calls too, but the coach has a say in players as well. So Devin Neal at 21 years old, right? The one big takeaway I have for Devin Neal in college is he did not fumble the ball. He fumbled the ball 4 times in 4 years. That's a big plus in college and then going to the pros. Some receiving work, but not the greatest. But his rushing numbers were just, they were good, right? It wasn't anything, if you compare it to the rest of the running back class, it's not the sexiest numbers. But for his situation he's going to be in, I see an honest shot by, the trade deadline that Devin Neal is the running back 1 or 2 for this team. So my only question mark going forward is Kendre Miller, and this is off of mine. There's no other. Haven't heard much of anything of Alvin Kamara being shipped out, but just kind of where I would see the Saints to be at if Derek Carr is out and Spencer Rattler or the 25-year-old rookie quarterback from Louisville, Mr. Tyler, don't perform. Is just one of those pieces. So where he's going in the 3rd round of rookie drafts, I think is a nice fill-in piece that you can get. And with tight ends, I have one right now. I was very low on this tight end class. I didn't think there was a whole lot of really, really good talent worth taking a lot of draft capital on. The NFL, obviously, way smarter than I am. Obviously, way smarter than I am. Disagreed, and they took a lot of tight ends top heavy. Obviously, we saw 2 tight ends go in the top 15, some other second-round tightends. But I'm going with Gunnar Helm, 4th round tight end, goes to Tennessee, where, man, a lot of people were on Chig. I was the highest. I liked him last year. I thought the opportunities were going to be there. But the opportunities were still not. Like, if you look at Chig last season, played every game, 70 targets, 52 receptions, 479 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You look at where a lot of that came from. It was at the end of the season when Will Levis was gone, obviously. So now that you have Cam Ward, can you see a resurgence in Chig Okonkwo? Possibly. The last 3 games, if you're a believer of them, were really good. But I am willing to take a shot with where he's at, where he's going to go in rookie drafts, of saying, hey, like, who can I take a shot on here? Gunnar Helm will more than likely be the tight end 2 on this team. Josh Wiley is pretty much his competition, I would assume. So it's between him and Gunnar Helm. I'm going to take a shot on Gunnar Helm being the tight end 2. And if Chig is not getting it done at the tight end position, we could see Gunnar Helm move into that tight end 1 spot. I would not bank on it this year. This is more of, yet again, the future. Like, I want to get guys to where, if I don't want to take that shot on them next year, but their situations are better next year than they were this year, and I could get value out of it, right? People want to get a guy that's going to start, potentially, and take that risk of what they're going to develop into. Go for it. I want to take shots on return assets. That's what I'm going to go here with in Gunnar Helm. Very reliable receiving tight end. His catch rate was ridiculous. It was above 80% out of the tight end spot. Obviously went to Texas, so had some pretty damn good quarterback play there as well. Obviously, they like to run the ball pretty damn good as well. So Gunnar Helm, I'm just going to take a shot on him going to Tennessee, being the backup for Chig in an offense that should be improving. Granted, this year's probably not going to be pretty. I mentioned Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, there's some pieces there. And Calvin Ridley, they signed Tyler Lockett Treylon Burks is still there. They go and get Restrepo for Cam Ward, but yeah, it's not going to be a pretty offense. Obviously, they're going to try to not get Cam Ward's confidence killed year one. So you kind of always like tight ends for rookie quarterbacks. It's the easy check down when stuff's not really being easily readable defensively. The tight ends are usually the guys that see a few more targets in those tougher games. So Gunnar Helm, I'm going to take the shot on him. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I will have more content going out this offseason, going over both Dynasty and Redraft Fantasy. We'll go over some best ball, all that stuff. So if you guys are interested in any of that, please subscribe. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, next I have two wide receivers for you guys. We're going to go down a little bit far, and we're going to go to my boy, Torrey Horton, who got drafted by Seattle, right? He gets drafted number 166, so not pretty draft capital at all. But I'm going to take a look at the Seahawks wide receiver room, and obviously we have JSN. They acquire Cooper Kupp. You know who else they sign? MVS. They have Jake Bobo, who, if you like Jake Bobo, go for it. I was never impressed. River Craft. And then, you know, some other names, but Torrey Horton has a really, really good opportunity to take that wide receiver 3 spot on this team. Obviously, you're not taking JSN. You're not taking Cooper Kupp unless one of them go down with an injury. But to say that he can perform MVS or Jake Bobo, yeah, like I do think that's highly possible. The reason Torrey Horton got drafted so late was because of an injury that kept him out. He went to Colorado State, but if you go and look at his previous numbers outside of his last year there, really impressive numbers. He's a really reliable receiver, a 6'2" type of receiver, right? So not getting that, 5'8", 5'9". He's 6'2". Hands are great. He's a very good, reliable receiver. Not gonna, kill you down the field with speed, but really good route running, really good possession catcher. I mean, he attacks the football when it's in the air as well. So I like Torrey Horton, where he got drafted, right? It's a good opportunity with where he's going in rookie drafts. And yet again, a guy that's going, late 3rd, 4th round. Like he is a guy that you take a shot on in rookie drafts. And he has an opportunity to get some snaps in. Obviously, there's a lot of competition with JSN and Cooper Kupp. Also with the Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. It's not going to be the prettiest situation, but a guy that can get you some snaps is probably going to beat out these other guys and see the field and then go from there, right? It's kind of all you want out of these rookies is to get some playing time and get volume, especially when you're drafting them this late. That's all you could really wish for. So Torrey Horton is my first guy, and we're going to go down a little more to another Colorado guy, but instead of State, just Colorado and Jimmy Horn. Now, the Carolina receiver room got so interesting this offseason. So, going into the offseason, you had Adam Thielen, who they acquired to be, that number 1 receiver for Bryce Young, not a number 1 receiver. But Adam Thielen's done a great job. They go and draft Xavier Legette, who did underperform quite a bit last season. And then my boy Jalen Coker, undrafted free agent. I got him in so many dynasty leagues. I think I got him in 80% of my leagues. And I'm glad I did. Perform really good. But then they go and draft Tit McMillan in a top 10 pick at that. And then just yesterday, Hunter Renfrow signs with the Panthers. So the wide receiver room is pretty stacked, but with the production Jimmy Horn had at Colorado, I mean, I think he really stood out there. The receiver room for Colorado, I think, is very underrated. for the production they got. We'll see what Colorado's receiving room looks like this upcoming season. But I thought they had a very just underlooked wide receiver room. Obviously, he is a shorter guy at 5'8", but Jimmy Horn was just, man, he got the ball. He was dangerous. So if you want to go into numbers and look at it, a lot of numbers and metrics and all that stuff, go for it. I just like the opportunity with where Carolina's at and kind of where I'm seeing the wide receiver room. Obviously, Adam Thielen is, man, it's really tough to picture who's going to start. This year is going to be tough for Jimmy Horn to really do anything. I'm looking more at the future of him being able to get put in and kind of move up. But Adam Thielen, Jalen Coker, Xavier Leggett, and Tech McMillan, I would, at this point, I was really on Adam Thielen going behind. It might be Jalen Coker because Tet's going to play. You just drafted him. Xavier Leggett, they spent a first-round pick on him last year, and Adam Thielen's there. Going forward, if Xavier Leggett doesn't perform, there's a good chance he's, taking a back seat. Jalen Coker was very productive for the opportunities he got. I mean, look at the numbers. But he had some really, really good weeks for what he had. So, look at the PPR points. 2 games above, or 3 games, towards the end of the season here, getting above 10 fantasy points. So nothing crazy, but for where he was, where the team was, I like Jalen Coker. So I think going forward, obviously Adam Thielen's getting older, his contract's going to expire. I'm kind of looking at Jalen Coker, Ted McMillan, and Jimmy Horn being the 3 receivers. He's a guy that you just take a shot on, right? Like, I could go over a bunch of numbers and a bunch of stuff, but in reality, he's not probably going to play a lot this year. I'm looking at the future and what I could get value in my late picks. So Jimmy Horn, Torrey Horton are 2 of those guys. So, now we'll move on to tight end.